Um, in my research paper, I talked about natural and synthetic refrigerants, about how synthetic refrigerants have been being phased out since the 1980s, um, in lieu of some of their high global warming potential, and that they are looking for more environmentally friendly ways to run vapor compression systems. But I didn't go over like what vapor compression systems are and how they work. They consist of four major components: the compressor, its condenser, metering devices like thermal expansion valves, and the evaporator. They also consist of filter dryers or pressure switches for safety, uh, fan cycle switches, those type of things. Um, the vapor compression system is a closed loop cycle that circulates a refrigerant as a medium to absorb and transfer. Excuse me. As a medium to absorb and transfer heat in a given space. As the refrigerant goes through the system, it experiences multiple phase changes. The cycle starts at the compressor, where the refrigerant is in a vapor state and then is compressed, causing it to turn into a high pressure, high temperature vapor. Since the volume stays constant, the temperature and pressure are directly proportional to each other. This heated vapor then makes its way to the condenser, where there's a fan that blows over the condenser, allowing heat to be released into the environment, uh, causing another phase change in the refrigerant. Now, it is a condensed liquid that makes its way to the metering device, where the pressure is rapidly reduced because the metering device is the refrigerant has to pass through a really small orifice, which reduces um, pressure and temperature, and it reduces the temperature to be lower than the space that is being cooled. Then, as the um, cooled, saturated liquid goes into the evaporator, it is then like another fan then blows over the evaporator to cool the space, which enables the heat to be absorbed in the evaporator, and this causes the final phase change where in the evaporator the saturated liquid refrigerant turns back into a low pressure, low temperature vapor, and then it enters the compressor again, and it starts the starts the system all over again. Um, there are also ways to optimize your vapor compression system using concepts known as superheat and subcooling. Um, these are calculations that help engineers optimize their systems to meet their specific cooling needs. The superheat is the amount of degree that the refrigerant vapor is above its saturation temperature at the outlet of the evaporator. So where it's a cooled, low temp, low vapor, low temp, low pressure vapor. Increasing your superheat ensures that the vapor, that only the vapor enters the compressor. Since liquids can't be compressed, you don't want to damage your compressor. So you would do certain math to figure out how much superheat you need to make sure that the saturated liquid, as it's when it's leaving the evaporator, it is only vapor. Um, do too much though, however, adjust that too much, and you can cause a reduction in your cooling capacity as well as cause the compressor to overheat. You can maximize your superheat value a couple of ways by adjusting the metering devices so that it reduces the amount of refrigerant um, the ability to flow, or to increase the fan size that blows over the evaporator, to increase the amount of heat that is being absorbed. And for subcooling, this is the temperature of the refrigerant below its saturation point at the condenser outlet. So when it is a high temp, high pressure vapor, more subcooling means, or liquid. I'm sorry, condensed liquid. More subcooling means you have more liquid going through the condenser, reducing the chance of going through the metering device. Subcooling can be adjusted by adding or removing refrigerant from the system, but if you have too much subcooling, it can indicate that the unit is either overcharged or the condenser is performing poorly.